Good morning if you're live, or good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time of the day it is. Welcome to the Medium channel where we bring you the spirituality behind the message. And we'll start today's discussion and tarot reading in just a minute. I always like to give the live people a minute or two to get their notifications and come in. So for my regulars, you may notice there's a different setting behind me, and I met a friend and neighbor's house that had to tend to a family emergency. So I'm not house sitting, I'm cat sitting actually. So I'm coming over, feeding the cats, and I want them to get used to me. So I'm here instead of back home doing this. But anyway, so it's pretty nice home also that I get to hang out in. So we'll see if any of the felines actually jump on the table. They're starting to warm up to me a little bit. This is day 2. So anyway, this is Adam, your friendly psychic medium and now cat sitter, man of many trades, at your service here. So a lot's gone on, and part of tarot time, I like to catch up a little bit on current events because it's all part of consciousness, it's all part of the process of awakening. We know that Boris Johnson, one of the British prime ministers, stepped down. Many of my regulars know that was actually part of my 2022 prediction back in January, and I know I'm patting myself on the back, but worth noting that very often the energy is there. Spirit is communicating with us and at least giving us signs and hints of what's to come. Now, time is fluid, and predictions don't always pan out, but in this case, yeah, it was right at the beginning when I was talking about July. Now, mind you, this was 6 or 7 months ago. First thing that I said is a major world leader steps down, and I cited the 2 most likely candidates to be Joe Biden, which I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon, personally, or a British prime minister, and that happened. Now, so that's one thing, and again, there's a lot of sweeping changes on the planet. Yeah, that's followed by the ex prime minister of Japan getting assassinated after there's a shooting. Where was it? In the Netherlands, like places you don't normally see stuff like that. And then the Georgia Guidestones were as mysteriously destroyed as they were erected, and that's going to come up a lot on different YouTube channels because I don't know if you guys know what was written on the Guidestones, but you can look at Wikipedia and find out exactly what it is. And my question to you guys, especially if you know, what is that? Is that some form of like an enlightened message, or is it the creed for the New World Order? Um, and I'll give you a little clue that the very first creed or first line is that the world population will be maintained at 500 500 million, basically. So right there, I'm wondering, so what about the other 6.5 billion people on the planet? Are they just gonna like be eradicated? But then there's kind of some cool stuff about connecting with nature and blending with source. So check it out. It's really interesting, and it's really subject to a lot of interpretation. But it was very mysteriously erected. I forgot when. I think it was in the 1980s, or it was like it's kind of like Stonehenge the way it was set up. It had all these writings on the stones, and then it was people don't know exactly what happened. So lots going on. A lot is going on. And now what we have coming up is is another full moon, this time in Capricorn. So I like to do a little tarot tutorial every now and then, just because a lot of people that come into this are tarot readers themselves, or are interested in learning or whatever. So I you may be like, what WTF? Like, why do we pick this card of all different cards? Well, this full moon is in Capricorn, and the devil card is ruled by the sign Capricorn, and it speaks on areas that we need to overcome. It speaks on areas that we're stuck in some portion of our life or our thinking or something like that. It does not mean evil. It does not literally mean the devil. And in fact, it's Capricorn energy. This can be a very successful card. But as things are changing so rapidly, and our natural survival instincts, the way our subconscious mind works, we just change. That's why it's so hard for people to change, because the subconscious relates routine to safety. So if the routine's threatened, I'm sitting with a couple of cats, and cats are very known to have very set routines in their lives. It's part of their survival instinct. So we have to really get present and get past that human instinct and get more blended with spirit in order to flow gracefully through these changes that are happening now. And in the Fool's Journey, the major arcana card, they all represent different steps on the spiritual path. So when you get to key 15, and the devil card, it's showing you where you're stuck, what you need to release, what you need to move through, basically. So just because of the full moon coming in Capricorn, that's why I picked this. But as I'm talking about it, it seemed really, really apropos to what's going on. And I'm sorry, I'm missing all your comments. Yay, Sharita's in. Very good. And hi, Michael. Hi, MT. I know I'm missing a few of you. And Sharita saying there was a boatload of truth coming out surrounding power and leadership. It's 21 degrees. Thanks for bringing the degree point up. Tuesday morning, I'm going to do a live stream on the full moon. So 21, that's actually very fortunate, right, Sharita? It's a Jupiter ruled numerology. It relates to the world card in the tarot. So so 21 degrees Capricorn. It's interesting, and I'll let Sharita take over on the comment streams with that. So what do? We want to do a meditation card this morning. And I'm just looking at my potatoes are weird. I think it's going to be an early autumn up here, because I'm seeing signs of it. Like I've seen a few leaves starting to change already, and I usually don't. I've never seen that really before, like the end of July, and it usually doesn't start till August. So we may get some nice summer weather, leading into August. But don't be surprised if it gets chilly early this summer. I want to say, I think that's what nature's trying to say. And there's things coming up about weather modifications. A lot of stuff's coming out. There's conspiracy theories. There's conspiracy facts. I think enough stuff's going to come out where we can separate the theories that aren't real with what is real. And I think a lot of people, especially people that don't follow the trend, are going to be really, really shocked by what they see, actually. Hopefully. Okay, so you guys are having a really good conversation. I'll stay out of it, and I'll stick with tarot. Anyways, so far the cats are not crawling on the table. Okay, I'm not gonna say any names, even of pets, just because we want to respect anonymity here. Since I'm in somebody else's home, I think that's the right thing to do, right? But in any event, we have cats, and I miss the feline, so this worked out in a lot of ways. That the person could at least be at peace knowing that her cats are cared for when she has to deal with family stuff. So I'm going to pull a meditation card now, and the way that I recommend doing the meditation with tarot is like any other meditation. Get very present, very, very centered. And then for whatever card it is, imagine that you're stepping into the card and seeing the whole scene, like, the whole panoramic scene of the card, maybe meeting the different people or energies there, feeling the energies, getting the messages, maybe connecting with your guides, maybe not. But when we meditate, we want to do free of expectation. We can have intention, that's totally fine. But once we go in it, we want to be as present as possible and as open as possible. And then spirit will communicate with us. Spirit is always communicating with us. Spirit always wants to point us in the direction of truth. The problem is we have preconceived ideas. We have programming through society. We have needs, wants, and desires. And that tends to filter, if not completely block, what spirit's trying to bring through. when I do my mediumship, or if I do work for myself or meditation for myself, I have to forget that and try to get so present in my breath and my body and just being aware of everything and focusing on nothing, that I start to blend with spirit. I start to lose that artificial human identity, which in several years I won't have anymore, because I won't have a body anymore. But I'm an immortal spirit, so I want to really connect with who I am as spirit. And by doing so, the whole thing about like having a name or a job or an identity starts to fade to some degree, and then you start to blend with the spirit and source, and then you can see how you're programmed from the outside looking in, because you can't see it from the inside, because that's the lens that you view the world, that you've been doing that for many, many, many years, you see. So you really have to learn how to get outside of that, and you do that through presence, through meditation, and blending with energy, blending with the flow, blending with the divine, blending with spirit. So on that note, where's the drum roll? I should have brought my drums with me. Maybe one of these days I'll drum and sing for you. Oh, wait, I'll lose too many subscribers. Never mind. We'll take the singing part out, and I think we'll be good. All right. So here we go. Meditation card is all right. So we had a full like 5 straight weeks where we only got core cards. Now we're moving out of that. So we have a 7. 7 is Neptune ruled, by the way. So 7 is very kind of like intuitive and very also connected with energy and spirit, and other things. But I'm not going to get too deep into numerology today. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. And, the meaning is that there are challenges, but this card, this figure, as you go into the meditation, one possibility anyway is that this, whatever this is representing, maybe a spirit guide, it's going to help you to, deal with the challenges. Because you can see in the picture, this is the 7 of Wands or 7 of Rods, and you can see in the picture that there's, these wands can represent like adversities and challenge, but the figure's holding it off, and he's standing above the challenges, and he's got his rod, and he's holding it off. So this will be a good meditation, especially because it's only going to pick up. Things are changing very, very fast. It's only going to accelerate from this point moving forward. If you missed Sharita's summer forecast, check that out. That's on the channel also. Also, my July, I don't even remember if I predicted in my July psychic forecast if I touched on the world leader stepping down. I hopefully I did, since I did it in December. Hopefully I picked up on that in July also. But anyway, it doesn't matter really. It's just that's my own ego kicking in a little bit. It really doesn't matter. But the point being is that this is. Meditating in this may give you some insights in what you need to do to stay above the challenges. And I always say, many spiritual teachers, there's a lot on YouTube now, say the same thing. This is a beautiful and important time to be alive, but it's challenging. It's a gift, it's a privilege to be part of this massive change in human consciousness and in reality, but it ain't easy. And because of the programming, and because of the innate survival instinct that's exploited by the powers that be. So the programming is basically hijacking the emotions and controlling our behaviors that way. Because of all that, it's not easy. We have to get into that place of stillness, that place of the heart. The heart is the center of the storm. Vibrate at the heart frequency as much as possible. Things will change. So anyway, that's my meditation advice for the day. And I did. So I did mention it in July also. Good. Okay. Yes, it's stroking the ego again a little bit, but it's all for the service of the divine anyway. So what I'm going to do is do like a little 3-card spread now. If anybody's new, I may not pick up on the details of what's going on in the world. My aim is this to be more of like a divination tool than fortune telling, because, like I said, things can change overnight. and mainly like what's going on in this community as it reflects, in the world community, and what advice Spirit is trying to give us basically through the tarot. And okay, yeah, thank you, Susan, for that. Exactly that world. That down. Yep. And that's basically what happened. He stepped down and missed scandals, and I have a feeling there's more to come. I mean, the whole like British political system, may really go into a major shift. And I have a friend who's an excellent medium and tarot reader named Sarah Sachs. Every now and then she steps in here, and she's, I mean, if you want to understand the ins and outs of politics, she really studies this stuff. And God, what was she saying? Oh, she's just saying, how that England is really more of a democratic country, and she spent a good deal of time in England. She studied mediumship at the Arthur Findlay College, for example, in Stansted, and you're just saying, that Boris was a conservative. I think he was the conservative leader. I think he was that prime minister. So there's always agendas, like in the Hunger Games, moves and counter moves in the Hunger Games movies. If you guys remember that one, Katniss, with cats, Katniss was the lead's name. Moves and counter moves, and there's those that want their freedom and those that want to restrict the freedoms, and it's clashing. So that's what it is. But it's a reflection of the internal struggle. And if you really keep that in mind, then we don't have to be mad or angry at the forces that be. We can work internally and understand that in this shift of human consciousness, in this lifetime, in this time, where we're moving from no freedom to free will, or at least moving in that direction. And if you think about it, generations before us did not have free will. Most people were, indigenous people were eventually conquered by somebody. Rich people were slaves to their riches. Poor people were just slaves. And now that we have this lifetime where we're granted free will, not everybody, obviously, and obviously I'm speaking from, admittingly a privileged perspective from my background growing up in New York City and everything. But most of the people that are here have that experience or that choice to express their free will, and it goes against thousands of years of soul memory. So that's why so many people, again, it's it's programming, but programming can be from other lifetimes too. So that's why people seem to, and you would scratch your head, why do people choose situations where they're controlled, like either by their boyfriends or girlfriends, or their jobs or whatever, when we have the free will to make other choices. But again, we're evolving, and that's part of the process. So anyways, hopefully I'm not digressing too much, but it's pretty free flowing around here. I mean, sometimes I have notes when I'm doing a live stream, but when I'm channeling and doing tarot, it's there is no script. It's all spirit and all what the cards are saying. Anyhow. So just want to clear my mind a second. Just ask Spirit to guide my hand to the right card. Okay. Okay, very good. Or interesting, and more interesting, and not nothing comes up too crazy. That doesn't necessarily mean crazy things won't happen. As I recall, last Sunday, the cards looked pretty mellow and not that eventful, and this past week's been anything but uneventful. So we have the Two of Cups, the Hierophant. So the Two of Cups is it's lunar ruled because of the numerology 2, and it's water. And the Hierophant is Taurus energy. And then the Chariot is Cancerian, and it's also 7. So we have a 2, 5, and a 7 going on here numerologically. I think one of the things that this is saying, I mean, the Hierophant can represent world leaders. It can represent religious figures. It can represent dogma that we need to get through. This is the middle card. Let me get this a little closer. StreamYard is like opposite land. So if I move my hand one way, it goes the opposite way on StreamYard. I don't know if you can see the 2 pillars, but he's kind of like standing in the way. It's like it almost reminds me of like the bridge keeper in that Monty Python movie, if you remember. Yeah, which one? Yeah, the one with the knights. I forgot the name of the movie. I think it was their first movie. I can't remember the name of it. But it's like the bridge keeper's like before you pass this bridge, you must answer me these questions 3. So it's almost like the same energy. It's like there's something or someone that's kind of standing in the way of walking through those 2 pillars and getting to the next reality, something that you have to overcome or something that you have to answer for or something like that. And some of it may be the rules and restrictions. Taurus energy, and Taurus is pretty active. What's Uranus, is it? Something majors in Taurus, or gosh, oh God, I should have my ephemeris when I'm doing this also. But at the same time, the other thing is be aware of false prophets. Be aware of those that are spouting spirituality, but really have an agenda behind it that's not about your freedom and about your expansion into spirit, but rather to control you in some other way or another. And you're going to find, I think what this is saying, that the control systems are going to really be clamping down. We're going to see more and more of that. Now, this 2 of Cups is interesting because that's often about partnering. So the idea here is let's be aligned in community and be connected that way also, and be open and communicative. Now, on a personal note, one or more of you may meet an amazing person, or even possibly even a potential romance, because sometimes that's the 2 of Cup energy. Sometimes that represents the synergy between the male and female aspects of vibration or frequency, the active and the passive, the light and the dark. Dark is nothing negative about dark, by the way. I'm trying to really wipe that vernacular out of my vocabulary, not refer to the ones that are, that what's the, well, evil's the only word that's coming to my mind now. Portraying them as dark, that's like saying that the night is bad, basically, or that the void, which makes up half of reality, is bad. So anyway, and then the Chariot is often about, we have choices of different ways that we can move, but look at the positives and trust your instinct. This is Cancer. We're in the sign Cancer. Cancer is a lunar ruled sign, and 2's a lunar ruled numerology. So a lot of reflection, a lot of self-reflection. They're saying a good exercise for us to do may be to do like a mirror exercise. And one way of doing this is just having the mirror, just gazing right in your eyes in the mirror, and it's a transfixing exercise. And the idea is you have to stay focused on your own eyes. And if you do that, you're going to start to see distortions in your face, and you're going to start to see images. And when I did this, I started to see my face in other lifetimes. So but it's all about reflection and understanding that the world reflects what we put out into the world. The universe is constructed in that way. It cannot be any other way. And people will debate me, up the yin yang or whatever. Oh, here's one of the kitties is coming to say hi. Hello. um, um, but it's just that's just the way it is. The thing is, what gets a little confusing is that we're a collective also. We collectively create the reality also, so we do it individually as well as collectively. And then because time is an illusion, and it's not really linear, it's more all inclusive or circular or whatever, we can't necessarily, and the earth plane is so dense. It takes time for what we put out into the world to actually complete the reflection process. But the more that you can see your life as a reflection of your inner state, as well as the collective consciousness, the more you'll understand about yourself, about spirit, about your path, what you're learning, how you're growing, why you're here, and all of that stuff. So it's a good time to be very reflective. Powerful full moon. It's in Capricorn, so it's in that very kind of grounded, Saturn ruled Earth sign. But injecting some intuition into the very rational and practical, and blending that, so that again, that could be that Two of Cups, that blending energy of the opposites. Something to keep into account. But I think this whole thing is the other one is the it's our Supreme Court ruling that that's really a slight on women, and I think, anyways, in my opinion. But all the stuff is coming up, and I think what we're going to see is just more measures of control. Sometimes a hierophant, at least in my way of seeing it, it's my own personal meaning. I don't think it's a book meaning. I can see that as the technology also, and we're sort of faced in what's that guy's name? Klaus. Oh God, I can't remember his name. It's like the head of the World Economic whatever. But anyway, I mean, they're like flat out saying that basically they're that they're creating a new world order, and create and creating an interfacing where humans and computers can blend or whatever. Now, I've talked about this a lot. Hello, sweetie. Yes, the cats are starting to cozy up to me. For those that came in late, I'm cat sitting right now at a friend's and neighbor's house. Um, but um, but again, it's like who's in charge, and they make it very clear that they're working towards creating a centralized system of government, and centralizing like the internet, and creating a more technologically advanced version of it called the metaverse, that I'm sure you've heard of by now, that involves interfacing. It involves like direct experience with virtual reality. What is direct experience? It's emotion, right? Feeling is what makes it an experience. An experience is what we feel about it. Now, if you remember earlier in today's live stream, we were talking about how we are programmed through hijacking of emotion, specifically survival based emotion. So this can be used. I'm not saying it is, because I don't know, but given all the evidence, this certainly should be a concern, that this can be a tool to really create a new measure of control over human beings' rights and liberties and freedoms. So keep this in mind. I think that's kind of what this is saying. And try not to get bogged down with all the stuff that's going on. I have to do the same. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm a work in progress, just like you. I have to sometimes just step back and just say, what the F am I doing? Like, why am I reacting this way? Why am I feeling this way? And just go back into my breathing, go back into my expansion of consciousness. And once I feel spirit again, it's like everything's okay again. And that's what happens. So anything else? I'm kind of missing all this good stuff that you're saying. So Sharita's filling in with what's going on astrologically, which is really going to help you to navigate. So, it's a process, and try not to get demoralized. That's the next thought that came in my mind. Keep your spirits up. We'll all get depressed. We'll all get down or whatever. So, but try not to get demoralized by what's going on, and despondent, and wanting to give up. It can get really, really overwhelming. But remember, you're a spiritual teacher also, and a spiritual student, or you would not be here. You would not be attracted to my channel if that were not true on some level. So anyhow, let me do a Native American card also. This is part of our routine. Then I have a totem animal and angel message to finish up the morning. Let us all get on our day. So anyway, Thank you, Tangerine. I'm not catching all of your comments, but every glimpse that I'm getting, it's like you guys are really on it. You're really wise, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you adding to the community. There's something I wanted to say, but more like something that's going on. I can't remember. I mean, going on with me and my work, but if I can't remember, I'm not supposed to say it. So this is a beautiful card to pull. It's the medicine wheel. It's see, key 10. No, oh, so it'd be the wheel of fortune. It's key 10. Like if I translate that into uh, now the medicine wheel teaching is amazing, and I've touched on it a few times. I was fortunate in my 20s to get some good guidance through Native American elders in various places and stuff. A little bit about the Hopi prophecies. And we're for those that follow that, we're definitely in the third shaking now for sure. Um, but the cool thing about the medicine wheels, if you look now, let me see, like at the center here. So if you look at the very center of the medicine wheel, like what's in the middle, and then you see there's different, I don't know what they are, plants, I guess, along the side. So say you're at one point of the medicine wheel and you're looking at the center and the shape, and then you move like 90 degrees and you look at the same center. That center is going to look different to you. The shape's going to be different because you are seeing it from a different vantage point. And that's really the teaching, is like we come into the world seeing things from one vantage point based on whatever our spiritual mission is or our past lives or whatever. And in this earth walk, we're meant to walk the medicine wheel. We're not meant to stay in that fixed position. We're meant to see the center, which is spirit. That can be one interpretation anyway. We're meant to see that from different points of view. We're meant to walk the medicine wheel. We're not meant to be stagnant in one experience in life and one experience of perception, basically. So I do believe that this is really asking us to see things from different perspectives. Don't jump to conclusions. And this takes your reprogramming, and I get triggered too. But I think the idea is that when you hear something or see something, and you catch yourself going into like anger, frustration, fear, or whatever it is, take a deep breath and try to see it from a different vantage point. That this is happening because this is meant to happen, or this person's meant to wake up, or this government's meant to do something. So there's clash. I don't want to say clashing, but divergent forces, and you can even see hints of it in some top level officials, that spirituality is starting to penetrate the veil of illusion, secrecy, and control. It's subtle now, but it's there. And the idea is to try to see things from different perspectives and point of view. Also, the wheel of fortune, the turning of the wheel. So, and it tends to be a good energy for better things to come. And things may get worse. It depends on how much we're able to work together, awaken and grow. But things could get a little bit worse, or they could get a lot worse. But no matter what, things are going to change, and there's going to be a new level. There is going to be an awakening that's going to start to affect collective consciousness, affect the masses. So, though the powers that be want to prevent that because they want to maintain the control, they want to maintain the power. So we have this clashing of energy. So, anyways, let me do the animals. So I've got the Steve Farmer messages from your spirit guide animals, or from your animal spirit guides. I'm not used to working on the table. I sit on the floor at home. I think I was Japanese in another lifetime. I just need a table. I need a floor. I do not need possessions other than what I need to survive. And which is good, because if the shit really hits the fan and things get really crazy, I don't have all the stuff I have to move. I mean, my last move, it took me less than 48 hours to pack everything up, box everything, and move to a new location. And I mean, that's my personal choice. I'm not saying that that has to be your choice, but or that it's better or worse or anything. But I think the idea though is it's a good time to lighten your load a little bit, maybe just in case things change quickly and you have to act quickly. All right, so this is the one we got, the emu. Thinking of those crazy commercials, emu and Doug. This is a new time to go on a new adventure. Oh, I like that. I'm trying to think. I want to go on a new adventure myself. We can go on new adventures internally, but I like the energy of the emu. So well, what else I can get out? I don't know emus well enough to give you more insight into what this card means, but whatever it means to you, be an emu for a week. What can I say? They're big birds. I think they're flightless, right? I think emus are flightless. I don't know. But the meaning, yeah, it's a good time to go on a new adventure. So, again, it's sort of supporting that message, not being bogged down by the old programming, the fears or whatever, So I think that's that. Let me do an angel card, finish up, and to be, here in the Catskill Mountains, it's a beautiful day. Not hot, not humid, perfect summer weather. Get out into nature. This whole metaverse and all this technology, it tears down our energy fields. Nature restores it. I'm not saying computers are bad. I'm not saying technology is bad. Like anything else, it can be used or misused. But the reality is that we need the balance. That's getting back to this Two of Cups here. We need the balance between yin and it's the opposite land here, yin and yang. All right. Anyhow. Oh my gosh, I didn't ask in the morning if you guys are coffee, tea, or caffeine free on a Sunday morning. I'm not doing my shtick anymore. On my way over, I heard a beautiful Simon and Garfunkel song called, what was it called? It's written in 1966, or before, from the sound, not the sound. The Sound of Silence, it's from the Sound of Silence album. It's really about the pitfalls of religion. It's very sarcastic. That wasn't Saved. That's Bob Dylan. I can't remember the name of the song. Talking about kicking around in Soho and the churches, and it's very on point about organized religion. I mean, religion and spirituality are great, but when it becomes organized, it becomes an organized mess usually. So here's the angel card that I pulled, Astara. You deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires, and don't compromise. So we have a healer that works with Sharita and I named Heather Astara. So Astara is really close, and she's got some videos. In fact, we have several videos of hers and her beautiful meditations on the channel now. We're going to have her back really soon. So that's a name that you may want to keep in your mind also as well. So anyways, beautiful. That's what I have for you today. Thanks everybody for being here. So I'll remember what I wanted to say as soon as I leave. Okay, we're giving you just a couple of seconds. Something coming to mind. All right. Well, in any event, just what's upcoming on Wednesday, it's the full moon. We're going to do some channeling with the master teachers on Wednesday at 7:00 live. For those of you that haven't worked with them, they're beings of light and energy that work with me and other channels, and they're here to help raise our frequency, to help us in our awakening process. So the channeling is very energetic, and people tend to feel it. So we'll work with some full moon energy then, and we're doing inner work with the master teachers also on Spirit Mind Family. So that's the Patreon group. So people that want to do the inner work, the core work with them, that's the place. That's the place to go. And I'll leave a link on the pinned comment when this becomes a video. And we did a 7/7 transmission with the master teachers. So if you want to bring that 7/7 portal energy back, go back on the channel and do that meditation also. And that's what I got. So have a great day. Be well, and may peace guide the planets and guide your destiny, and love.